Howdy people, my name's Barry, and tonight I'm going to talk to you about the cost of living. Okay, I'm going to speak about the cost of living. Now the cost of living includes everything, people. It includes your petrol, electricity, all the other household fun like food and blankets and towels and pillows. It includes your car insurance, your home insurance. It includes everything that you possibly spend money on. That, people, is the cost of living. Okay, that's the money you need to spend every day just to stay alive. Alright, now, it's been in the paper recently, the cost of living is getting a bit out of control down here in Australia. And that's fair enough. Okay, shit's more expensive, I accept that, people. But come on, seriously. Alright? I had a bit of a look into this, alright? Researched it a little bit. Supposedly the average Australian should have food, at least one hot meal a day, at least 3 meals a day. Alright? They should have one TV in a household, enough couch or chair space for everybody in that household, a designated sleeping space, and one room in the house should have both heating and cooling. Okay. Really? That's what they say you need to be in the average household. That's what the government says is the minimum that a person should have. Alright, that's pretty generous, you might say. And I agree with you people. It is pretty bloody generous. Alright, so why are people telling me that they can't afford to live when they can't afford their Foxtel? You know, Foxtel is not important, people. Okay, we get 16 free-to-air channels in Australia. You don't need Foxtel. You might like Foxtel. I love Foxtel. I'm a big Foxtel fan, but you don't need it. Alright? It's not a reason not to pay your mortgage. Okay, people? You still pay your mortgage before your Foxtel. Alright? I know Foxtel come and disconnect you if you don't pay, but guess what? You don't pay your mortgage, they'll kick you out. Alright? It happens. It's sad, but it's a fact of life. Alright? Now I'd just like to talk to an article I read in The Australian. That's the national newspaper down here. Alright? Now they had an example of the cost of living skyrocketing, people. It's skyrocketing, they say. Alright, and you know why? Because a single mother of 2 could not afford to study film design in TAFE. Disappointing. Dole-bludging parents can't afford to study pie-in-the-sky dream courses in the aims of getting that 1 in a million job. It's disenchanting. It's heartbreaking. My heart bleeds for these poor liberal bastards. Frankly, tough crap. I put myself through uni. I worked every bloody day that I studied, people. That's right, hard to believe that Barry has a uni degree, but he does. Surprisingly, it's in the fields of accounting and law. But enough about Barry. Back to this poor lady who has 2 kids and can't afford to study. You know what she does, people? Nothing! She's a dole-bludger. Now, for all you people out there who don't live in a state which has welfare, let me explain to you what a dole-bludger is. It's a person who doesn't have a job, doesn't look for a job, doesn't want a job. Basically, their day involves getting up and going to bed. Maybe there's some filling in between, maybe not. That's a dole-bludger. Now, because these people do nothing, and they're not working, the government gives them an allowance to survive. Alright? Okay, it's not a lot, you know, maybe only $300 or $400 a week, but it's enough to survive. As we've discovered, it's not enough to go to TAFE and study film design or creative arts or anything like that, but it's enough to put food on the table, keep a roof over your head, and some TV. I mean, forgive me that you can't afford to go night clubbing every night, or forgive me you can't afford to go on holidays every now and then. But guess what? You're not working, people. If I have to listen to one more pensioner come and complain, oh, I can't afford to buy my grandkids a Christmas present. Well, the little shits have enough. I don't need grandma going out there and buying them the new PlayStation game, or Wii game, or flipping console you kids play these days. No. Little Timmy should be grateful that grandma is alive enough to get out of bed and come and see him. He doesn't have to go to an old folks home, does he? The little shit should be grateful. Those places smell. Alright. You know, so pensioners, I'm sorry, I know stuff costs more than it used to. I know you're not getting more money. But let's face it. You're not working, are you? You're not contributing anymore. You've done your bit. Great. Good on yous for working so hard. But if you'd worked a bit harder, maybe put a bit more away for your retirement, you wouldn't be in this situation, would yous? And now don't tell me that you've done your bit and now it's your chance to relax. People retiring at bloody 60 years of age. Then they go and live for another 20. Well, let's look at it this way. You start work at 20, you work until you're 60, then you retire for 20 years. You spend half your life not working. But you still expect to be fed, clothed, have a house? Why? You're not working. We're done with you. Society has finished. That's right. Now I want to retire one day, as I'm sure you do. But when I retire, I'm going to retire on money that I've earned. Money that I have put away from my retirement. You know, I have my little investment property. Alright, by the time I retire, I hope I have a couple of little investment properties. Maybe some shares. Maybe just a fat term deposit in a bank. You never know. I might go in the import-export game. That's right. Milk the Australian dollar while I can, why don't I? What I'm saying is, though, people, and this is the important thing, the cost of living goes up all the time. Dole bludgers don't get more money all the time. Because if they did, that would make the cost of living go higher. Then they would get more money and cost of living goes up, and more money and cost of living goes up, and so on and so forth. So if you think about it, if every time something cost a little bit more, the government gave someone more money to buy it, well, that would mean that through supply and demand, more people are now buying the product becomes more expensive. So the government gives these people more money. So these dole bludgers can go and buy more cigarettes, more beer, more TV programs. And then of course they get more expensive because everyone's buying them. So the government gives them more money. All of a sudden we've got pensioners driving bloody $1 million Mercedes. Why? What have they done to earn it? Nothing. So look, while I understand living on a fixed income, it's tough. I know you guys can't just go and pump out some overtime to buy that nice shiny bit of bling that you want. And forgive me for being young enough to do that. But you know what? My grandfather is 78. He still works every bloody day. That's right, he gets himself out of bed, stumbles across the hallway and sits in his office. And he sits there and he designs a few houses, he makes some notes for court cases. He's an architect. Works his ass off every bloody day of the week. Well, good for him, you might say. And is he complaining about the cost of living? God no. The man's still working. He's earning. It's not a problem for him. He gets his super and his wage. He's set. He's laughing. You know? Great. So all you guys who didn't put in the effort to get a degree, you know, made a living of lugging boxes or digging ditches, I honour you. I salute you. You know, I used to do that. You know, that's how I put myself through uni. Unloading trucks. I used to unload trucks. 6 hours a day I would unload trucks. Then I would go to my desk job and work another 6 hours a day. Then I would go home, sleep for a bit, do some study, get up and go to uni the next morning. That was my life. Alright? So don't come and complain to me about the cost of living, because I've been there, I've done that, I survived that. That's right, you poor people. That's what you get. No sympathy from Barry. Barry has no sympathy for you poor people. Even Larry's nodding his head, he agrees. That's right. Larry and Barry say poor people. Get your finger out, get a job, work harder, you'll be able to make more money. You'll be able to buy the things that you want, you can go and study what you want, you can retire when you want. But don't sit there and complain that I'm on the dole and I can't afford a life. No, you've got to earn the privileges. Okay? We'll give you food, clothes and a house. You want more than that, you have to earn it. And consider yourself lucky to be able to earn it. Look at the poor little starving Ethiopian boy. No one gives him shit. He gets shit. In a very literal sense, if he's diving through shit trying to find corn kernels to make himself some dinner. Yeah. Does he even get an option of going to work? No, he's got no chance. He's digging through his shit. Maybe he gets promoted to dumpster just to dig through dumpsters, but you know, it's a sad existence. So the next time you complain that you can't afford this nice fancy dinner or your kids can't have that new toy, just think of poor little starving Marvin, the Ethiopian boy, who's digging kernels of corn out of rich people's shit just so he can make himself some stew. That's it, I'm Barry, and I've just spoken to you on the cost of living.